There have been numerous media reports about two issues in Kyambogo, namely one, allegations of marks for sale, and two, allegations of sexual misconduct by a senior university official. This news has been running wild. That is the truth. I'll be telling you a lie to say I've never heard about it. I worked in Makerere since 1980. That's when I started working in the university. That gives me how many years? 43 years of working in a higher education institution. And I would be truthful to tell you that these issues have always come up in all higher education institutions. Not only in Uganda, even in Europe. The issues of sex for marks, sex for grades, is a worldwide problem. But that is to say we do not condone it. So we have heard about it, but again, nobody has come up to say so and so did this. I remember in Makerere there was one person who was in education, and he made headlines and he was investigated. So our investigations have been curtailed by lack of information. You hear this, oh, so and so did this, but students cannot come forward to tell us who did it. So to answer your question, I've heard it as an allegation before, but nobody has come out to substantiate it and say this one did this, one did this. There was a student in Makerere who tried to take a photograph of somebody who was trying to harass her, and he took the photograph of the head of that gentleman who was between the legs of the lady. But when it went to police, it was difficult to establish whether this was the head of that guy. That guy up to now has never been held responsible. It was very difficult to prove that this was the head of this fellow. I wish he had taken the face or the recording of something. So when we get concrete information, we investigate and we punish these people. We don't condone these actions. Council directed us to put in place an office where students can raise their concerns. And the office responsible for academic misconduct is the Office of the Academic Registrar. So Council directed that the Academic Registrar puts in place a mechanism of receiving these complaints from students. So as I talk now, I don't know why you are talking of a committee. Council directed that the Academic Registrar's office handles the receipt of these complaints. Once they have been received, they will be analyzed, and then an investigation will begin. There is an investigative mechanism of how we investigate these issues. Bring in the senior legal office, bring in the human resource people, and then once we find some evidence that these allegations are true, then we shall take disciplinary measures. I take concern of your issue saying that students fear revealing their names. Yes, we have a mechanism of protecting whistleblowers. We don't reveal their names. We receive the complaint, but we don't disclose where the complaint came from. So if there is some validity in this complaint, they will still be investigated without revealing who said it. And maybe what we request you from the media, some of you have called me about the same matter. And then I ask you to give me information, but you don't want to give me the information. So if you don't want to give me information, how shall we follow it up? We know this may be a real problem, but for us to address it, we need to know who is doing this, because our appointments board is a very strong body. We have dismissed members of staff who have tried to alter marks for students for various reasons. And by the way, there is no student's mark that will be altered without the involvement of the student, one way or the other. In many cases, a student may initiate the whole thing. Sometimes the wrong character of the staff may initiate it. So it takes two to commit that crime. So I want to ask you, members of the media, you have said they run to you because they feel safer with you. So give us the information without disclosing to us who told you. But at least tell us the complaints are leveled against teacher so and so, teacher so and so. He did this on this date. And then we shall follow up the complaints. So if there are any final year students who have these issues, they better bring them up quickly, and then we shall investigate them and handle the matters. Some of these issues are easy to handle. If somebody received money to change your marks, there are original records. The original records in the departments, which you will not access. If you are in ICT, you will try to change the marks of this person, but you have not accessed the original mark. So we'll go to the original mark and find out what happened. So the sooner we get that complaint, the better, for us and for the students. Management wishes to clarify that we do not condone any form of misconduct, be it academic or social. And since these matters are allegations, the university has taken steps and sent out press releases to invite anyone out there with information regarding these two vices to come forward and report to the academic registrar on academic matters and to the acting university secretary on issues of sexual misconduct. We had a meeting in the council. These two matters were discussed in greater detail, and the council advised that we follow the established university guidelines, rules and regulations to handle matters of misconduct. And one of them is to investigate the matter and report this matter to Appointments Board, and then finally it will go to council. So we have said there are two offices, one of academic registrar to handle academic matters, where the students from engineering have said that there are some members of staff who are collecting marks from them, who are collecting money from them, promising to change their marks to better grades. We want to know who is doing this. And if students don't come forward to tell us, then we cannot address the vice. And then there are some issues of sex for marks. Same thing. So we encourage students to come and inform us. You can find a way of reaching us, anonymously or otherwise, at least mention some people, then we can interrogate them. But if you make it an allegation, and it stops there, and you don't come forward, management has no way of addressing it. And I'm told the students complained because when they paid money to change their marks, when they went to check on their portals, their marks had not been changed. So they still had retakes. And they were saying, but we paid. What happened to our money? That's when they started reaching out to people of the media to complain. But to encourage these students to come forward and identify the wrongdoers. The wrongdoers are part of society. But unless we discipline them, then the vice may not change. And unless they come forward to tell us who is doing this, then the vice will go on. So we invite anyone with information on these two matters to come forward and give an opportunity to management to address these issues through its established channels and procedures. And I want to thank you, members of the media, for raising these matters. But some of you raise them and then you put soup there, and you add some salt and spices, to spice your stories, so that the people, the community can be appealing to the community. And some of those spices make the stories, I don't want to say not to believe, but you can see the language you use is not the language I would use.